For over 70 years, Japan was the world's silent power. Bound by a pacifist constitution written in the aftermath of World War II, the land of the rising sun stayed out of global conflicts, focusing instead on becoming a global leader in electronics, robotics, and cars. But in 2022, something shifted, and by 2026, the Kremlin realized it had a massive problem. The shock didn't come from a Japanese declaration of war. It came from the sudden appearance of high-tech Japanese engineering on the front lines of Ukraine, equipment so precise and reliable that it began dismantling Russian tactical advantages in ways the world never expected. From invisible mine detectors that see through the earth, to the secret deal that put Japanese-made missiles in the hands of Ukrainian air defense teams, Japan is no longer just a spectator. Today, we're breaking down the Japanese-built technology currently in Ukraine that has left Moscow stunned. We're looking at the specs, the secret export deals, and the massive policy shift that is turning Japan into one of Ukraine's most vital and most surprising military allies. When the Russian military retreated from the outskirts of Kyiv and the fields of Kherson, they left behind a deadly carpet. Ukraine is now the most heavily mined country on Earth, with over 30% of its territory contaminated. Standard metal detectors, the kind used for decades, are nearly useless here. Why? Because they beep at every piece of shrapnel, every bullet casing, and every rusted nail. In some areas, deminers have to dig 1,000 times just to find one actual mine. This is where Japanese ingenuity changed the game. Enter ALICE, the Advanced Landmine Imaging System. Developed by Professor Motoyuki Sato at Tohoku University, ALICE isn't just a metal detector, it's a high-definition window into the soil. Unlike Soviet or Western legacy systems, ALICE combines a standard metal detector with ground-penetrating radar, GPR. The shock for Russia was how quickly Ukraine began clearing impenetrable defensive belts. ALICE uses a handheld sensor connected to a ruggedized smartphone or tablet. As the operator sweeps the ground, the GPR sends pulses into the earth. Instead of just a beep, the operator sees a real-time 3D image of what's underneath. It can distinguish between a circular anti-personnel mine and a random piece of jagged metal. It can even detect plastic-bodied mines that have almost no metal content, mines designed specifically to be invisible to NATO's standard equipment. By 2025, Japan had delivered over 50 of these systems, along with heavy demining vehicles. The result? Ukrainian sappers are clearing land 5 times faster than before. For Russia, their unpassable minefields are being systematically neutralized by a piece of Japanese tech that fits in a backpack. You might think of Toyota as the maker of the reliable Camry in your driveway, but in Ukraine, Toyota has become the backbone of high-speed logistics. Russia was reportedly shocked not by the armor of these vehicles, but by their sheer survivability and reliability in conditions that were killing Russian Gaz and UAZ trucks. Japan has quietly delivered over 130 military-grade vehicles to Ukraine, including the Toyota High Mobility Vehicle and the Mitsubishi Type 73 Kogata. The Toyota High Mobility Vehicle is often called the Japanese Humvee, but it's a different beast entirely. It features a 4-wheel steering system, allowing it to turn in incredibly tight forest tracks where larger Western vehicles get stuck. With a payload capacity of nearly 2 tons and a high-clearance chassis designed for Japan's rugged mountainous terrain, these vehicles have become the preferred platform for Ukraine's elite drone teams and medevac units. While Russian logistics columns are often seen stalled due to mechanical failure and poor maintenance, the Japanese-built fleet has maintained a near 99% operational rate. If you're interested in the modern warfare topics, then please take a second to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. But it's not just the trucks. Japan sent Moroka tracked carriers. These are rubber-tracked engineering vehicles that can walk over deep mud,
the infamous Ukrainian Rasputitsa, where even tanks sink. These Samurai Steeds allow Ukraine to move ammunition and supplies to the front lines when Russian trucks are literally stuck in the mud. It's a low-profile contribution that has a high-profile impact on the tempo of the war. This is perhaps the most controversial and shocking move in Tokyo's modern history. For years, Japan had a strict ban on exporting lethal weapons, but in late 2023 and throughout 2024, the Japanese government amended its 3 principles on transfer of defense equipment. The reason? Ukraine was running out of interceptors for its Patriot air defense systems, the only thing capable of stopping Russia's hypersonic Kinzhal missiles. The United States' own stockpiles were running low. The solution came from Tokyo. Japan's Mitsubishi Heavy Industries produces the Patriot PAC-3 MSE, missile segment enhancement, under license from Lockheed Martin. In a historic first, Japan agreed to export these lethal interceptors back to the United States. While the official line is that these missiles replenish U.S. stocks, the strategic reality is clear. Japanese-made missiles are freeing up American stocks to be sent directly to Kiev. The PAC-3 MSE is the most advanced variant of the Patriot. It uses hit-to-kill technology, meaning it doesn't just explode near a target, it physically rams into it at Mach 5, using pure kinetic energy to vaporize incoming ballistic missiles. For Russia, this was a massive geopolitical blow. They expected Japan to stay on the sidelines. Instead, Japanese factories are now effectively part of the supply chain that keeps Ukrainian cities safe from Russian terror strikes. Every time a Russian missile is intercepted over Kiev, there is a high probability that the interceptor was built part by part in a factory in Nagoya. As we move into 2026, the shock is only intensifying. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi, Japan has taken an even more assertive stance. Japan recently joined the NATO-led PURL, Prioritized Ukraine Requirements list. This is a mechanism that allows Japan to provide financial backing for the purchase of high-priority weapon systems from the US and Europe. But there's more. Reports are emerging that Japan is preparing to provide its own proprietary electronic warfare systems. Japan is a world leader in high-frequency sensors and signal processing. In the drone war over Ukraine, whoever controls the electromagnetic spectrum wins. Russia has long boasted about its EW capabilities, but Japanese-built components are now being integrated into Ukrainian drones to bypass Russian jamming. This technological cross-pollination is something Moscow never planned for. They prepared for a war against NATO equipment. They didn't prepare for a war against the combined industrial might of NATO and the world's most advanced electronics superpower.
Japan's contribution to Ukraine isn't just about simple trucks or humanitarian aid. It's about a fundamental shift in the global order. By providing the high-tech niche tools, the demining sensors, the reliable logistics, and the critical air defense components, Japan has filled the gaps that Western powers often overlooked. Russia is shocked because the sleeping giant of the Pacific has finally decided that its security is tied to the survival of a democracy half a world away. As Japan continues to relax its export rules, we may soon see even more made-in-Japan tech appearing on the battlefield, from advanced sensors to perhaps even lethal hardware. The message from Tokyo to Moscow is clear. The pacifist era isn't over, but the era of standing by while the international order is dismantled most certainly is. What do you think? Is Japan's involvement the X factor that could tip the scales in 2026? And should Japan start exporting its own lethal designs, like the Type 10 tank or the F-2 fighter? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the technology and costs of modern warfare. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.